Oops. Wrong. It is the wrong episode title splash thing. Give me a second. How do I...
We fucked it up. Oh, it's all gone to shit.
It is 45. There we go. Greetings and welcome to Die Dragon Die presents the Grimstone Chronicles Season 2, Episode 45. When will this chapter end?
I can't take it anymore.
I am your...
How hard you gonna make that?
Yeah, I'm your DM and host, Marty, joined by the full Ontario crew. How is everyone doing? And we've got Adam twice in the Ahmed spot. See what happens.
I am the best Ahmed. I will be the only A name in the game.
Well, you know, I just saw two bald heads. That's what I was saying. I was flipping coins. Close enough. All right.
Time to it.
Yep. How is everyone doing on this fine Thursday evening?
Wonderful.
Perfect.
I spent all day playing Red Dead Redemption 2. Got up,
Nice.
had cereal, played Red Dead Redemption 2. My alarm went off. Time to go play D&D.
Nice.
That's how good my day's been.
You bastard.
My day wasn't that good.
No.
My wife has had an upset tummy for the last 2 days, so there's been lots of hearing about an upset tummy, hearing an upset tummy, and then hearing about how much my tummy isn't upset and how that's not fair, and I should have an upset tummy too. I don't necessarily think that's quite. I don't think that's better.
That third one's breaking a few logic problems.
Well, it's one of those like, so you want us to be fighting over who gets, you know?
My wife was
No.
diagnosed pre-diabetic or something like last year. She's like, how the fuck am I pre-diabetic? And you're not. Because I eat whatever I want. Which will no doubt lead to an early demise. But you know what? I will be happy. And I will eat 8 pallbearers.
I'll help if I'm around.
Yep.
If you need a hand.
Or 6, and one of them has to be Adam.
No, we're just gonna make Adam do it himself. We're all just gonna kind of pretend we're lifting. He can handle boulders. He can handle something awkward like a coffin.
That'd be the most awkward.
Awesome, but it's like the tractor tire.
It's like fucking the big logs or something like that. I got this. Puts on his belt beforehand. Powders up his hands.
So take a snap if you look like.
I could get my funeral, because I'm pretty heavy, I could get my funeral to be a strongman competition.
You better have gym friends, Adam.
Yeah, my gym friends are mostly smaller than me.
Oh, okay.
In fact, they're all smaller than me. I'm pretty big. I got some strong guys. I know some strong guys.
I have some friends.
I have gym friends. Ahmed, what's going on with you?
Not much. All is good. Tired from just working. Been very busy.
When are you ever going to say, I'm super well rested and
I'm
so
not
ready for game?
in 18 years.
Yes, that's
Not
exactly
before. Not before.
That is when.
So if you come
Just-
to visit in September, we're going to make sure that you are able to sleep in.
It's not gonna happen. But okay, thanks.
Okay.
I appreciate the thought.
I remember with your previous visits, Ahmed's like up at 5 in the morning for some godforsaken reason.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Wins
ask him why,
game. He's
he's
like,
I don't know. Just go.
we went to bed an hour ago, Ahmed, and we had lots to eat and drink. Funny.
You weren't sharing a hotel room with them that one time.
Don't do it.
Maybe that was by plan.
Let's put Ahmed and Adam together. This will be funny.
Anyways,
I shouldn't have just bed by the bathroom. That's all I know. That was my mistake. I was in the room first. I could have picked either bed.
You picked unwisely.
All right. Why don't we do a recap of what happened last game? Last game was called
Oh, we did it. That's what happened last game.
As
I did
Thick
it.
as Thieves. In the deep halls of Undertown, the party picks through the remnants of the Cabernex node, plundering its technological and magical devices. Using a legend lore spell, Barnabas delves into the secrets of Dayfurl, learning that it can be used to steal mythic powers! ! The Steel Rose League members attempt to steal mythic power from the inert Cabernex node using their Dayfurl dagger, unleashing a torrent of dangerous magical energy. Beyond the liner notes of the episode, the energy did give power to Widget, Barnabas, Branos, Cog, Slake. It, however, had no place to reside in Amadeus and Agony, for they did not have any sort of bonded or connected items that were capable of holding on to such powerful magic. Thogrim as well did not have such a bonded item and actually succumbed to the dangerous energies. He died.
Sad day for all.
Brenos had an interesting experience speaking to the gods. I'm going to add that into the recap. Brenos receives visions from the Morndin salmon and learns that his family, in quotation marks, is engaged in a horrible war in the Outlands, and he is called upon to pay a debt from the Morndin salmon to the draconic deities.
Yeah, they I guess I'm on loan. I'm a contractor for the gods now.
Yeah. He's contracted out.
Thogrim speaks with an entity inside a magical bit of amethyst that had been planted on Slake since his visit to the Nexus. All right, we resume while you are still in the same cave or dwelling in the halls of the Underlords in Undertown. You've protected yourself with Mage's Private Sanctums, numerous alarm spells, and have been camping out in 2 rope tricks. After you receive these newfound and heroic powers, cannibalizing them from the Cabernex node, stealing them in something that is known as blood theft. In other times, you would be hunted down by other mythic beings for such transgressions. But these are dire times. And immortals are much more rare than they once were.
They're much more immortal than we're around.
You've taken your first step in the gulf between that of mortality or the realm of mortals and that of the deities themselves. Not only are you legendary characters, but some of you are also Mythic Rank 1. And the numbers of Mythic Rank characters in the League, the Steel Rose Expeditionary League, has more than doubled.
Actually, I'm the minority.
Actually, didn't Sunny gain from the death from the?
Yeah. So Sunny also gained because he is on a different path, and he knows that defeating the Cabernex's node was actually good for Volcanica. Capital V Volcanica.
Yeah.
And when we talk about Volcanica, it's more like Volcanica being a vibrant and life-filled planet.
If a little fiery.
If a little fiery, yes. After receiving your powers and bolstering some of the existing ones, you begin to realize that some of you are less the stuff of heroes and more like pretenders. I don't know if you were thinking of yourselves in that way at this point in time.
I don't think Barnabas has ever thought of himself as a hero.
Okay. Each of you knows that the mythic power does flow from the various devices that you've linked to your very beings. Widget, you've never had the bravery to leave the cloak far from you. You're pretty sure if you're in the same room as the cloak or you're right beside the cloak, you'll still have your mythic power, but none of you have ever experimented with, trying to get to sunder that link, which means that these items should be held close.
I don't know why I would.
Similarly, Sonny has worries about should he ever leave Volcanica.
Yeah. Maybe temporarily. I don't know. His eyeball is currently out of his head. Probably means that he's not alive. And spell didn't work. Also means he's not alive.
Thogrim's body was scorched, and with quick thinking from Barnabas, who knew about some device that the Imperials had that made it very difficult for non-believers of the Five-Faced God to come back, that Foundry was one of those null zones for spiritual magic. Quick thinking and the use of mythic power, Widget was able to cast a limited wish, which mimicked the powers of a magic jar or possession. And right now, Thogrim's soul is inside the piece of amethyst.
Mm-hmm.
Are you guys just going to sleep? Like, what happens now?
Yeah, I think we still need to rest. So.
Okay. Could you put yourselves in the rope tricks of the place where you're going to rest?
All right.
Slake is just going to go stand at the door.
Well, the 6-1's going to grab Thogrim's body and move him into. He's going to ask for help to try to get him into one of the.
Sunny is going to go with Thogrim. Brados wants to be the same trick as Agony.
Yep.
Cogs is walking around. Hey, Slake. Hey, Slake. That was pretty amazing, eh?
Widget will go with the dead guy and the nerd.
Slake makes his eyes flicker again with that strange green sound, or with that strange green energy.
Yeah, like that little sparkly
Yep.
light come across.
It feels great. And knowing that there is power out there that isn't magic. Oh. My iron heart pumps with joy.
Yes, indeed.
I still feel weak, though. Not in that way. I know my abilities to resist magic have been brought down because I've let those spellbeggars cast their damn spells on me. It won't happen again.
How much time do you need before you can...
I don't know. The last time that happened, it took me a week. This time, however, I've had a lot of spells cast on me. It might
hopefully
take me
it
several.
won't take too long.
I have to find a place suitable to scrub the filth away.
I can punch the magic off you.
Sonny's gonna poke his head out of the rope trick. Oh, do you need a toad?
Go to bed, old man.
All right.
Not helping.
My ears were burning.
So
Yeah,
this
that machine was very destructive.
this
Killed
mine,
it, killed it.
we're gonna have to get more of this Dayfurl stuff.
Yes.
Because those creatures that they keep on talking about, these heroic creatures of old, lots of them use magic, I can tell. We're gonna crush some heads
Indeed.
and drink from their bones, or whatever.
Or whatever's left. We're in.
Oh, wizards are gonna fear.
It's going to be an interesting life. The two of us. The Iron Brothers.
Yeah, well, the Brickhammers, we still gotta figure out if there's any of them left.
You saw that pile. I doubt there's any left.
They're cowardly worms. They wouldn't have stood and fight. If they did, then they did nothing. No, there's gotta be a few left. Besides, maybe that thing is,
He points at the Cabernet's node husk.
maybe that thing is what's driving them. Or maybe a wizard conjured it here. Sonny and the others said they're from some other reality, existence, plane, world, something. I don't know. They have to pay attention when they start talking about their mumbo jumbo.
They said this. They said that this is one of many. There's one that conquered an orc world.
Yeah. All right. Then they're weak.
Orc constructs.
Eh.
Planet worth of them. It'll keep us busy for a while.
Well, it's worried about this place.
For now, yeah.
So, I've been wondering, is there a way to sunder magic from a world? Like, just break magic.
I really feel like I should be out there speaking with them. It just doesn't seem right being a trick.
Interesting. I don't know. Let me know if you do. I'll have to leave. If you figure it out, it might stop me from working. I don't know. I think my gem might have something to do with it, so I don't want to be,
Yeah. Yeah. A dwarf can dream, can't he?
Yeah, so can enough. Actually, we can't anymore.
Well, I could kind of shut down. Well,
They're lucky. I don't.
I don't know. I still got magic rolling around in my head. I gotta purify myself.
Well, that inside you is for sure as hell isn't magic. It's more powerful than any magic that I've seen.
Each spell, I'm not feeling right.
Maybe if you shut down, that'll help.
Nah, I tried earlier. It's not working.
It's time. Let's give it time then. That's what you did last time, right?
Magic's like pollution.
Changes the way the real world was supposed to work. So
Like too many geese pooping in a really small pond.
interesting analogy. I would have expected one of a mine, perhaps, but okay, I'll take that one. That's good.
Yep. We're gonna go goose hunting.
My ears feel better all of a sudden for some reason. I don't know.
They go on about this.
Will you be able to
the whole
return?
time.
Sorry, John Connery.
Yes, of course.
Will you be able to return my master to his living form?
Mute.
I am muted. Assuming Volcanica wishes it done, I think he'll come back. No guarantees, obviously.
Yes, I suppose. I am.
We'll need to, pick the earth from which he is formed. Was he partial to any particular earth?
Well, yes, he spent a lot of time in Oval. I spent a lot of time. It's confusing, I.
Why don't you make him out of saltpeter, sulfur, and charcoal?
Is there a way to restore? What? I've got a question.
Do you want to be fully person?
And I know it's only been moments ago, but I feel the shackles of control have been lifted from my head.
Well, he can't tell you what to do right now.
There's a rude burping and beeping from Talk. It buzzes by his head like an angry bird.
If you want to tell him off, that'd be the time. That link might be reestablished when we bring him back. Simulacra magic is somewhat customized in how it's performed.
Ahmed, I'm assuming Thorgrim would not enjoy an existence of not being able to learn and not being able to having to follow someone's command.
His personality, yeah, he'd want his own personality. He'd want to be able to advance himself.
Okay.
Unfortunately, they can't.
Well, it's
like Simulacra can't advance.
You're a powerful wizard, right? Is there a way that I could, become more like me? I feel something's missing.
What, like a soul?
Just some loner glasses that Thorgrim had given him. Yeah.
The old broken ones.
Yes.
I know a guy who can get you a soul.
Oh, I know one too. Expensive though.
It feels like something's missing in my head. A drive, curiosity.
That would be your master's voice telling you what to do. Don't worry, we return with your master.
Is there a way that I can be independent of my master? I'd still help him out. He's a good guy and all. He's me. Well,
a miracle might be able to do that sort of thing.
Yeah, we'll take a miracle, because you are the equivalent of an animated fucking chair. You're a thing.
He crosses his arms.
Well, that's not very nice.
I'm sorry.
If he was I can make a chair alive.
Really?
Why can't we make him alive?
How do you make a chair alive?
Well, you first you awaken it. Well, first you animate it, then you awaken it. Just like I can make any tree talk.
Well, stop. Stop. This is Thorgrim's ice slave, not yours. So when we get Thorgrim back, in whatever form that may be, you ask Thorgrim, do you want to free your ice slave?
Talk kind of goes over towards your eyeball. It clicks like an eye shutter.
This
once,
is the correct.
and then just floats over defensively over Thorgrim's dead body.
It's the same thing, like if we just decided to, deep fry Mistra. and have it for a snack. It would be rude to do that without consulting you first.
Eamon sneers and shakes his head.
He's an ice cube. We can't deep fry him. He'd melt.
No, but we could break him up for drinks.
I'd rather not. Is there anything that either of you casters can do? To help me.
You don't need help. You
Well,
need to be quiet because it's rest time. Don't worry. Come tomorrow this time, you will be suitably enslaved again and have want for nothing.
Okay, Barnabas, you're able to talk down the ice slave of Thogrim, but you can tell it's not sitting well with him.
Yeah, Barnabas cares nothing about the animated chair and
Okay.
its feelings.
All right.
Sonny thinks it would be cool to see if we could give proper sentience to Simulacra. So when we have the opportunity, we'll try to convince Thogrim to. Why don't we find a wish scroll and turn him into like a proper cohort?
Don't get me wrong, if you try the experiment, Barnabas wants to see how that turns out. It's just out of academic curiosity.
Additionally, this might be the precedence that Barnabas is setting to if he ever got a simulacra, don't give, like, when I'm dead, don't let the simulacra just take my stuff.
Yeah, it's not his. It's not his. Yeah.
I'm gonna.
Give me a second.
I like. Fine, be that way.
All right, the highest is Barnabas. So later that evening, like while you're going to sleep, you do notice that ice slave Thogrim was near Thogrim's body for a bit, and he did something to it. Like he had put the blanket back over Thogrim's body. You awoke because Talk kind of angrily buzzed above Thogrim 6-1's head a little bit, and then he backs off, just sits back down, and goes to sleep.
Check the body. See if we can
Okay, so you're looking at the body. Your keen eyes look like. Oh, that's weird. He dumped what looks like a bunch of powder inside Thogrim's mouth.
knowledge. Alchemy, what kind of powder did he drop in the mouth?
He emptied a whole powder horn of gunpowder into Thogrim. Okay, so somehow you got it really jammed down in there. So you're gonna open it, like tip over the body and like.
Yep.
Okay, so you tip
Well,
over.
no. Eamon's gonna do.
All right.
Give another fucking Heimlich with the.
Yeah,
Is he
that-
choking?
That wakes up a bunch of the casters. You notice that Thogrim 6-1 doesn't wake up during this.
That's an interesting idea. No. I fully believe that we should, since he's a child of the powder as much as he's a child of the earth, we should mix the powder with the earth that we're going to reform his body with. The spell doesn't
He's
include.
gonna try and blow him up.
No. He's going to get a new body.
Okay, Thogrim's awake now. Thogrim 6-1's awake, but he's sitting cross-legged and kind of staring away. What is Thogrim 6-1's bluff?
Oh, his bluff.
Worse than Thogrim Original's bluff.
+0 or something like that?
Yeah, it's
Potentially
I'm
negative.
checking.
Yeah, he is facing the other corner and not looking at what you guys are doing because...
Turn around or I'll melt you.
Yes.
Why were you putting gunpowder into Thogrim's mouth? Were you planning on a fire spell? Blow him out? Maybe there's not enough bits left to the spell?
The spell requires a pinky toe.
Give me
or
an intimidate check.
a little bit of blood, fingernail, a piece of hair, a single tooth, the root of a tooth,
45.
piece of an eyeball.
45. Okay. Let me look at Thogrum 6-1's character sheet.
Scrap of organ.
Does he prepare any fire spells?
Does Thogrum? Yeah, he prefers a fireball.
This is really tight quarters for fucking fire. We might need to buy you some electro.
He prepares. Yeah, fly.
He has alchemical items, right?
He might have a grenade. He might have a grenade. A couple of grenades. Yeah, he has grenades. He has 5 pellet grenades, alchemist fires.
Okay, so give me a stealth check for Thogrum 6-1 as he's trying to.
Blow up his master's body.
Yes.
Why, shut up, bitch.
He doesn't want to be a slave again.
Toilet all day, all night. Stealth check plus.
Your job is now like
You created sentient beings that are you.
You wouldn't put up with this shit.
16.
Okay, I'm pretty sure that your spot checks are. Yeah. Okay, you see, he does take a.
Sonny's like, but that won't do anything. We're reincarnating him.
I've got to try.
And are you guys doing? I think there's an initiative as he's going to try to toss the alchemy fire.
This is why you don't clone yourself when you're a dick.
Oh, no, dude.
You're trying to kill yourself. You're actively trying to kill yourself.
No. If there's only one Thogrum left, I'll have to
Then he
deal
gets
with
the
him.
soul, and then we could put the soul in him. Because that could have been the other way to do it. Because we do have a soul available, and we could try to jam the soul into the
Oh no!
civilized
Widget,
Thogrum.
you're the first to go. He's got a flask in his hand. You're pretty sure it's an alchemist flask.
Alright. Widget, who has a bunch of spells that only affect living things that he has that he didn't cast yet. Although... Alright, I'm gonna check to see if this spell is dismissible. Because if it's not, then we won't use it because it might kill him. It's just wisdom damage, it's fine. Alright, I'm gonna cast Phantasmal Putrefaction on him.
What the fuck is Phantasmal Putrefaction?
I implant within the mind's target the illusion that its skin is rotting away. And its internal organs are spilling out onto the floor.
So he's
There's a
Phantasmal
wilderness-
Putrefaction. Okay.
Yeah.
Immediately take 1d4. And a fort save or faint.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. So what's the DC of the save?
It would be 24.
I'll make me a d20 plus 10. This is including the plus 2 racial bonus.
28.
Okay. It's an illusion spell, so nothing happens.
Okay.
My skin isn't real.
That's what it says.
Well, fuck's sake.
Barnabas, what are you doing?
Which will step if we'll step away from the body because he doesn't want to take the 1 point of fire damage.
Yeah.
It's annoying.
Yeah. The rope trick's only so big. So
Yeah, it's
we'll say you've got one more square.
so it's a construct.
No, they're people.
They're
When it comes to spells, I'm pretty certain they're people.
All right, he's gonna cast. And that
Touch hideous.
hideous laughter on it.
Okay, what's the will save on this?
The will save is 20.
All right, Amit, give me a
1d20.
1d20 plus 10. Is including the plus 2 dwarven bonus.
How did the bastard make my save?
Got an 18. That's how.
There we go. Roll a 3.
How did your shit work and mine didn't? This.
Okay, so he falls prone laughing. Is that what happens?
Yeah, he falls.
Well, he starts laughing. He gets another save to not continue. I think it's like he falls prone laughing for 1 round.
Next round, he gets another save.
Okay.
Yeah. Are you the same type?
Yeah, they're both humanoids.
Is he?
Okay, because there's also a +4 bonus if you're different types.
Yeah.
So I thought this was like because one is humanoid human, the other one is humanoid dwarf.
Yeah, the type is human and dwarf are subtypes.
Oh, I nerfed myself super hard when playing Ashoka. Okay. Everybody was getting a +4 bonus on the saving against me.
Nice. It says type, right?
It says type. Yep. Type is different. Cool.
Yeah, okay, so he falls down with uncontrollable laughter. He takes no actions. All right.
Something must be super funny. That spell is funny.
He's
What are we trying to stop?
Him blowing up Thorgrim.
But that doesn't matter. It won't do
I'm
anything.
in here. It matters.
If it makes him feel better, we could light Thorgrim on fire.
My gear, you asshole.
Feel better. He's filled with gunpowder.
Sonny, what are you doing?
Sonny kind of wants to light Thorgrim on fire. To show it doesn't like it. We'll settle on reincarnating him, yes?
Don't you set him on fire. Not till I leave.
Thorgrim's laughter has a bit of a cruel tinge to it.
Sonny will take a little piece of Thorgrim.
Okay.
Because that's all he just needs a part of Thorgrim when he died.
So you cut off a little bit of him?
Yep.
Are you Old Man Sonny? Or are you?
I was Earth Elemental Sonny. I'll go to Old Man Sonny for the rest inning.
Yep. Okay, you slice off a little bit.
Ow.
we can. Sonny will give the little bit to talk. He'll just like, here you go. Like, I don't know which in the eyeball.
Yeah, talk flies down to the ground and is trying to.
This is. Don't worry, it's all we need. If his clone's going to try to take revenge upon his old personage,
It has some like little grabbers that it uses to connect to eyes, so it actually
from the back
points up and then kind of lands a little bit of flesh and closes around the flesh and then has it floating around the room. Eamon, is Eamon doing anything? He looks to Barnabas for like an order, basically.
Yeah, Barnabas tells him to take the.
Okay, he goes over and just steps on the guy's hand and pulls the alchemist fire out of his hand.
I'm still just annoyed that my spell didn't work.
All right, so at this point in time, you've subdued Thorgrim 6-1. Eamon's just going to tie Thorgrim 6-1 up. You find some rope in one of your adventuring sacks. It just makes a big rope pile around Thorgrim 6-1. And with the last few loops of the rope, it goes in between Thogrim 6-1's mouth, and he is tied up.
If you want to set that on fire and see where all the pots land, take him out. Take him out and away from me. Come on, I'll help you. Barnabas starts kicking the body.
All right, well, Eamon just picks it up. He kind of interprets your order, and he brings Thogrim's body outside.
I actually picture him unceremoniously just dropping him through the hole.
No, he's strong enough to kind of. He's strong enough to put the body over one shoulder and kind of slides down the rope.
So his gear's not on, right? We pull all the gear on.
Yeah, you can make sure all of his gear is not on.
Yeah, we'll make sure his gear's
He's getting a
on.
new body anyway.
Okay, talk goes down, and you can see Thogrim kind of looking at Barnabas, and he looks down like he's ashamed.
Now you can look at the corner. Barnabas will kind of turn him into the corner so he's not putting it anywhere.
Okay.
Then Barnabas uses
Thogrim's cannon is down, or is it still on Thogrim 6-1?
I think Sonny's going to take that.
We'll
It's
take that away. Yeah.
just in case, because if he really wanted to destroy that body, that cannon would be much more effective than opening gunpowder in the mouth.
Actually, we'll put Thogrim 6-1 between Widget and Barnabas, and then we'll part his hair in such a way and use it as an ashtray. Because bad signal.
Bad respect.
Remind me if I ever make a simulacrum about this day.
Yep. I understand the feeling.
Ungrateful. I mean, real.
Step one, have a clone or a contingency first, then simulacrum.
Exactly, yes. Why simulacrum? This obsession with constructs has gone too far. Oh, sorry.
You know, you'd think they'd be cold, but they's not cold.
Cold-hearted. That's some cold-hearted shit.
All right, Sonny, what are you doing? You just gonna leave the body out here for now, or?
We're gonna set it on fire.
Okay, well, a whole powder horn full of gunpowder.
It'll accelerate real quick.
There's now like a Roman candle going off inside of Thogrim's already sort of electrocuted body. So
his eyeball was out of the socket in the previous description. Like, he's kind of messed up.
Yeah, you basically catch his beard on fire, and basically everywhere from his stomach up to his throat is kind of burned out.
What the fuck's going on over here?
Returning Thulgrim to Volcanica. For now.
We're
All right.
We're bringing him back in the morning. Don't worry.
so it's not really a funeral, is what you're saying.
It's a rite of passage. It's a cleansing. It's a cleaning up.
Quit acting like a bunch of fucking necromancers and get to sleep already.
Sonny's looking to Eamon. Probably shouldn't tell him about the simulacrum with that man.
If you have enough energy to do this fooling around, then you can go right away.
Eamon just sneers and gives you a little nod in agreement.
All right, time for nappies. There we go.
Eamon needs his rest too, or he won't get his personal parts.
Yeah, yesterday was a rough day for spell usage. Brenna, so you wanted to say something to Agony?
Sir, dragon gods, what you do about?
What do you mean?
Well,
Agony is going to hide his true feelings about what you just said. I'm going to attempt a bluff check for his response. His bluff check's been getting better. He's been spending ranks, and he has a circlet, and his charisma's +8, so plus 18 on the bluff. Not 20, 38.
41.
Why do you want it? He is guarded in his answers. He is defensive for some reason. Does Brennos know that he worships Tiamat?
He's a dragon man. This is why we started this conversation.
Okay.
He doesn't know nor care who he worships. He assumed he worshipped a dragon guy because he's a dragon man, and that's why he picked the the hole with the dragon man. So if you were told to pay fealty to a draconic god,
I don't know all of the names.
I know all their names. I just don't know what they do, what they're like, that sort of thing.
I was raised in a temple of Kazuth. They worshipped fire. They saw me as a being of fire, something they could use.
Oh, you have no interest?
Agony does not.
Okay, never mind.
That's what he's saying. He
I
doesn't know
think-
the dragon god names. You're
think-
pretty sure he may know some of them, Brennos, with your sense motive, but he's basically claiming ignorance.
I think Garrix is the one with all the fire. I think.
Okay, he looks around and he shrugs, like as in he may have heard of that one.
If there was one you wanted brought into battle with ye on the morrow, which one do you think would be agreeable to the
I remember
blood quest of dwarves?
I remember a priest scolding me when I asked about the dragon god of fire. He said that Kozuth was fire, and that all the other gods of fire were pretenders and simply used the power of the elemental god.
What about Bahamut? He seems like
Okay, Agony shifts uncomfortably.
righteous-y.
I've heard of that name before.
I've heard bad things.
He's an enemy of Tiamat. The two don't like each other, I surmise.
Well, it is a mine, so Tiamat's like greed, right? And
Amongst other things. She has 5 heads, one each color of the chromatic dragons. She's the mother of chromatic dragons. She is worthy of my respect. The way he said "worthy of my respect" was you could tell you could sense devotion.
There was way more. Bahamut was like, "Boo, Bahamut." Tiamat was like, "Ooh, Tiamat."
I will carry her into the mines.
Any thoughts on like Io or Asternian?
I don't know the names of the dragon gods. It's not something I learned.
Would you be offended if someone you went I and then you'll switch it to someone asked to try to talk to Tiamat in the morning to go fight in the mines?
You could do that? I thought you worshipped the dwarven gods.
I do. And
they would take
they
no
told
offense.
me to worship them. They told me to talk to the dragon gods. And normally I would feel this out kind of one at a time sort of thing, but, try to build up a rapport. But tomorrow's an important day, and I need one who's not going to fuck me. Things may have happened in the past. I barely speak Draconic. I get my and my like backwards all the time.
That is something I can teach you. You teach me about the dragon gods, I can help you with your pronunciation.
Alright.
If you're going to pray to Tiamat, do so over these things.
That would help because I don't think I have a holy symbol for the other. I've got the platinum sword, which probably counts as a holy symbol.
Okay, he takes out the book with 5 dragon heads, which is an unholy canon of Tiamat. And he also takes out... Yeah, he takes that one out.
Okay.
He was about to take something else out and then sort of left it there.
Yeah.
An unholy canon, a book is a very unwieldy thing to have in combat. So if you're going to use that as a holy symbol, you have to have it in hand.
Yeah.
Or open and reading from it kind of thing. So it...
I think he's going to try. He might not. I think he needs to collect the stuff for the different gods. He can do team out with that, but I think tomorrow's a battle day. I think I need somebody who I can use the sword as the focus for.
Yep.
Hopefully. And the sword.
Do you touch the holy canon of Tiamat?
I'll touch it. Yeah.
Okay, you
I'll
reach
take-
out
I'll take
towards
one.
it. You reach out towards it, and there's a flash from the woman in the sword that says, "No."
Then.
What the fuck do you want?
So. Morden said, "Do favors for the dragons."
So you saying this out loud?
I'm saying it so loud.
You're talking to the sword. The book.
And now you're saying this is the wrong one.
Amadeus, you can't help but like you're trying to get some sleep, and you're just watching. You're watching the conversation.
Are you too much done?
Pardon, but I am confused. Is this a Bahamut or a, like Lendis, maybe sort of thing, or like all happy go lucky? Nonsense, like
What the fuck are you talking
I don't know. I don't think he's talking to us. Who are you talking to?
I'm talking to the dragon in the sword.
Agony looks at Brenhus, looks at Amadeus, looks at the
Amadeus,
sword.
Oh. How long have you been talking? So,
I don't know, for a couple of months.
Where did we find it again? It was one of the artifacts.
Aye. The museum. Specifically the Horde. Since the temple.
It's not important.
Maybe we should break it, free a dragon.
No. That's not correct.
sell it and buy it.
What kind of dragon is it there?
I think silver, but I could be wrong.
Sounds valuable.
She doesn't like me, uncle.
Do you need this then? He picks up the holy cannon.
Not right now, I suppose. He's holding the sword, he's giving it a look. Later we'll discuss. Like, the prince is like, the gig before was you're supposed to do it with everybody. The gig here, if it's expanded, the rules should still be the same of like neutrality, not just lawful goodness. If this is the thing, we're gonna need to have a discussion about this. Neutral doesn't mean lawful good all the time. All right. I guess I'll take a shot in the dark in the morning.
Oh, don't miss. It's going to be a big day tomorrow.
Agony actually leaves the book out, and he puts it right beside your bedroll. right beside your pillow.
I'll sleep in
Yep.
there. It's,
Perhaps you'll be inspired in the morning.
in spite, we'll go with Garrick, so just destroy everything.
Besides, things are scary at night.
Scariest things are still scary during the day.
Sure, try it.
He pulls his blanket up a little bit, like, a little bit more kind of, just want to be.
The power in the sword retracted, basically kind of fled from the book when it said
It doesn't like the book.
It doesn't like the book.
All right.
I just looked at the division. Separated the mythic people get that one. Non-mythic people use that.
There's a class system that is already developed in the Rotrix.
Brandos is mythic. He's in the non-mythic.
Yeah, okay.
He's slumming.
He's slumming? Okay. All right. And then there's Eamon. He's got no mythic and the familiar.
He
so
doesn't count. He's not even a person. This group,
he certainly is.
Is he more of a person or less of a person than the Ice Thrower?
A little bit more, but not by much.
It's cold-blooded. It's a cold shit right there. I gave you underwear. How could you do this to me?
All right, Brenos, you have an uneasy sleep that is filled with dragons, battling dragons and dwarves and struggles against titanic beasts and nothing really that you remember too much in the morning aside from the theme of the dreams. You think that the struggle between dragons and other beings has been a much even more ancient one than the dwarves have faced. Sunny, you sleep actually quite peacefully, kind of dreaming of all the forms that Thogrim might turn into. Eamon drifts off to sleep, guarding Barnabas. Barnabas, you kind of drift off into almost a reverie of purple stones as you are drifting away to sleep.
Okay.
Do you see? You hear Geo.
I do.
Do you see what happens when you rediscover secrets long forgotten?
I certainly do. And we will continue to discover more secrets. And bring glory to the Geo.
It is not glory that I see. It is knowledge. And those beings who are blessed and learned and unique who will join the council in their afterlife.
Even better so ended up, did you have a chance to speak with Thornwaste? Very clever, by the way. Even the Germans, I'd say. We've expected nothing less, of course.
That gem must be returned to the Amethyst Cave so that we may analyze what it has seen.
I will see to it soon. Big day tomorrow.
We shall provide you with other gemstones. You are now trusted enough to begin the planting.
The planting.
To place the gemstones in places of importance. To watch those. To record.
Very well.
You have, and you can feel almost like it's rifling through your memories a little bit. Followers.
I do.
I wish to observe them. One gem will be brought to that, and it's looking for the word that you used for it, tower.
Very well.
It is a place of importance.
I am aware.
Yes. I want you to also make converts.
Very well.
A good test is if the convert stuns a person when detect thoughts is used.
Not me.
Isn't there a...
It's if their int is 10 more than yours. So for me to get stunned would be.
Well, you get detect thoughts. You actually get to. I think you can sense their intelligence score. It's like meta broken.
Oh, I see. Each if the highest intelligence is 26 or higher, and at least 10. Okay, so it's saying it wants converts that are int 26 or higher.
You
Is that all?
Well, so the thing is, like, detect thoughts literally gives you the meta knowledge of, like, their intelligence is 25. Like, the number is a thing that is given to you. It's like the only spell that's like, no, give me the meta, give me the actual.
Give me the meta,
Yeah, it's basically saying it wants a bunch of geniuses.
Yeah. I will endeavor to find them.
Good. You'll be given 3 stones the next time you come for planting. You'll be given 1 stone for conversion.
Well,
This pleases me. Do be cautious. The road you have decided to take is a dangerous one. That which can be taken can also be stolen from you.
well, where?
But know that your power enhances the collective.
That please.
You are now a glimmer.
Good.
Okay? You feel the connection with your deity leave. Suspiciously, the connection is like a spell.
You just said sending back. Hey, hey, this is why we should be on the same plane. Hey.
Widget, you have this dark feeling that you, even though you know that you brought yourself to this place through the nexus of the shadow, walking the shadow plane from one world to a next, your goddess and her disciples are busy at war on the world that you had just left. Perhaps it was fate that she sent you here to a world where Mythic still exists, where it might be more easily taken.
And those disciples need to calm down a little bit. They're taking things like they're styling up to like 90 and they're like at 110.
I just realized without magic items, I wouldn't qualify for what they're asking for.
Yeah.
You're not smart enough.
I'm not smart enough to be one.
Without drugs.
No! You can always take enhanced intelligence as a mythic path ability
I will be
and take it a +2 each time.
Yeah, that's the plan.
I think you're limited to once per ability score. When you take it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, and then you get your ability score increase.
But
as
every
well.
other Yeah, the second level and every other.
Yeah, you'll get 10 int from
Yeah,
leveling,
just
and
like
then
that, yeah.
12 from it.
Well, if we get that far, let's be honest.
Well, it's Uker's got a 76 strength because that's his max build strength. That's just what it is.
And damn it, that's gonna happen. Is that...
and it's a 96 strength when it comes to carrying stuff. Like whatever. And that could be bumped up a little bit higher.
As for the disciples going off the deep end, Widget thinks that there's something wrong with his own goddess. Like, you're pretty sure the goddess of darkness isn't supposed to be trying to destroy creation?
No, because you can only be the creepy side of the coin if the other side of the coin is round. You want to be the scary shadow person, you need light and you need stuff in the middle to make a shadow. Otherwise, you don't have shadows.
The only person in this rope trick that notices Widget shudder in his sleep is the ever-silent hovering Talk, who does not sleep. It's a construct. But he does feel his power waning, as the bond to his dead master will not last forever. Morning comes, and it is the first full day where many of you get to experience being.
Woo!
You re-prepare your spells in this horrible little node underground.
All right.
I have a question.
Yep.
Is Barnabas able to remove the gem from his board?
So you pull at it with your bare fingers, and no, it seems to be fused into your skull.
Okay.
You pull a little bit, like maybe, but it's dug in there. Like you could feel your skin is moving up against it, and it's wedged in there pretty big.
1 Io, 2 Bahamut, 3 Astilabor, 4 Lendis, 5 Tamara, 6 Asternian. This is how we settle who are we praying to today, because I don't know. And I refuse to have Barnabas tell me about the dragon gods. I refuse.
Well, Brenos, you do know that you need to make holy symbols, right? Unless you have some way of making a holy symbol.
Well, with that in mind, it's Bahamut, or maybe Tamara, or maybe Lendis, because I think that's gold and 2 silvers, I think.
Just carry around.
And then there's the Book of Tiamat that is...
Then there's the Book of Tiamat that's going to make the sword mad at me, for sure. I'm just going to be passive-aggressive sword day. You didn't take out the garbage day for the sword. I have a feeling the sword is of Bahamut, simply because the Platinum Dragon is one of the many names of Bahamut. And it's called the Platinum Sword. So, it's...
Passive aggressive sword. Every time you draw it, it just makes the sound of a clicking tongue.
We'll try Bahamut.
Okay.
We will try to use it as a focus, because if it's the wrong focus, this prep won't work.
Okay, so you pray to Bahamut. You feel a silvery platinum glow around you as you're praying. Agony snarls a little bit, snatches back the book. The essence inside the sword, the lady inside the sword, is pleased, and you feel a connection to Bahamut opening. But in a really weird way, it doesn't do much talking. And you think the powers that you're praying for are coming directly from the sword.
That's weird.
But you get access to Bahamut's domains, and you've ascertained that the Platinum Sword acts as a holy symbol to Bahamut.
It realize we're going to have a long conversation about this at some point when you're up to it. I need some tattoos. Yeah, we need tattoos.
Yeah. You just covered in holy symbols. Nice.
My chest is already covered with dwarvish holy
Yeah,
symbols.
well,
Now the back will be dragons.
What is Brenos' knowledge religion?
Brenos actually has a pretty decent knowledge religion. He's for identifying creatures or just basic knowledge religion?
Just basic knowledge.
Plus 16.
Yeah, okay, so Bahamut is the grandfather of dragons, the justice maker, the lord of the north wind, the platinum dragon, the valiant, the grandmaster of flowers. He is the lawful good, draconic deity of good dragons, wind, and wisdom.
Yeah. This is, see, you know, Brenos, like, he never did, like, I did more than today. Like, he tries to avoid, like, the head of the pit. Because you get talked down to a lot. All right.
Brenos is starting to realize that there might be a difference between the sword itself and the lady in the sword.
She might be trapped or something.
You're not sure which one is granting you your spells this morning.
Okay.
I suppose I'll carry her in minds today. This agony.
Another day. We will have that conversation though.
He does his praying to Tiamat that morning after, like, kind of doing a meditation for his sorcerer spells.
Mm-hmm.
Outside, he hops out of the rope trick, spreading his draconic wings, kind of distancing himself from Brenos.
What do you do to piss him off?
You know, Tiamat and Bahamut are arch nemesis.
No.
Well, I chose the other sports team. You know, when they played polo, and you got the reds and the blues. He's cheering for blue, and I'm currently cheering for red.
Oh. Well, just remember, you married him, you're still a new guy, so. Whatever.
Understood.
Even Gordon, they tucked away into the fleshy little ball, waves a little tentacle at you.
Fair enough.
As he just jumps out of the rope trick because he used the rope.
Luck and I think glory.
Okay, those that exiting the rope trick notice that the other rope trick, rope trick's temporary inhabitants have climbed out, and some of them are getting breakfast ready, while others are gathering round Thogrim, or the burnt-out body of Thogrim.
All right, I am adjusting my spells slightly to reflect the ones that I'm casting this morning, so I don't think I have them for the day.
Barnabas is looking at what Sunny did to the body with
Yep.
fire. You know, in most parts of volcanic, at least Imperial control, what you have done to this corpse is actually a crime.
Why would I care about Imperial law and Volcanica?
Well, seeing as they run Volcanica, you might want to give yourself consideration.
I am the druid of Volcanica. How could their laws possibly impact me?
Well, it's not the laws, it's the bullets that impact you need to be concerned with.
Oh, just don't tell them, it'll be fine.
I don't plan to. We're just
But they don't know, yada yada, I'm the druid and then.
Good luck with that, alright?
If they ever ask, I'm just an old man.
Well, it would be close enough to the truth.
Sunny is going to. I don't think we want to do a lot of travel on this day.
He wanders over. He still has that 2 con drain.
Things to kill.
Or did you get rid of that yesterday?
Oh, I have that spell ticked off already.
Okay.
Agony, first we'll bring back Thogrim, and then we'll address you and Thogrim a little bit. He will still be a little bit eeky-creaky for our adventures.
You did a bad job at burning him.
Well, it was more symbolic than anything else.
Yes. If you
There-
commit a crime, hide the evidence.
There was some trouble with the ranks. The other Thogrim is tied up.
Thogrim's all tied up. His glasses are on sideways. He's a pile of ash in his hair.
All right. Sunny is going to take the gem with the soul.
Okay.
And we're going to. All right. We're going to get talk the bit of flesh. We're going to take the flesh, and we're going to take a little bit of gunpowder, and we're going to take a little bit of earth, and we're going to mix it into a little 2-to-1 sort of earth to gunpowder ratio.
Okay.
Barnabas
And then-
goes back.
And then we're going to plant the little piece of earlobe that we cut off the body before we burned it, even though any part of the body would still be effective for this, because all we did was really maim the corpse. We defiled the body. We didn't actually do anything to it.
Why is it so hot in the afterlife?
And then we're going to, I believe it's light the incense. Which in this case is taking the form of spell
Gunpowder.
Well, we've got gunpowder, but
His incense would just be gunpowder.
no, we're doing a mix, and we will begin casting the spell.
Sorry.
Okay. So we, offline, had a nice little chart, which was something like 1 was a kobold, 2 is human, 3 was
There was kobold, there was goblin,
goblin.
was-
Goblin.
Yep.
and there was a human, and there was a something weird.
Yes.
And then something weird. Okay. And we ended up rolling something weird, and then we broke out another table and rolled on that.
And we use this other chart because the humanoids on Volcanica do not quite do the chart.
Well, we also have established that you can affect the outcome by the location in which you perform the reincarnate, as well as some of the things that you incorporate into the reincarnate. And the outcome was surprisingly not only playable, but appropriate. Okay, Sonny, you begin to reincarnates are not supposed to burn like that. Thogrim,
Don't worry, Volcanica's just very fiery with a passion for Thogrim.
you feel a fiery lash that drags you out of the purple realm with the talking slake in it.
And then I sing.
And the fiery lash brings you deep into the earth. This time it's not pulling you into a specific location, but it's pulling you into a well past deep underground. And you get pulled through rock, through mantle, through iron, and the iron starts to get really hot. And you are pulled very so briefly, like your soul has been dipped into the heart of Volcanica itself, before the magic lashes again and pulls you back up into a body that appears that feels like it's on fire. At first, your memory of fire causes you to scream as you're entirely burning, But then the burning doesn't hurt as much, and you open your eyes, and you are lying there in a somewhat dwarvish form. But this particular form has a beard and mane of fire.
Oh, good. Another normal.
It doesn't hurt, does it?
My, this is different.
You're able to. You realize as you tried to tap it out, your hair turned into like a very large frock of orangish hair, like it wasn't on fire. Like you can.
Brenos, the Luddite
Redhead or on
dwarf,
fire.
is concerned with what his friend is now. What is his friend now? Because that's not a dwarf.
Yeah, give
Kind of
me
a
a knowledge planes.
You, sir.
He looks dwarven, although he may have gained a few pounds and a few inches.
28.
At first, you thought this was an Azer, but it looks like it's a which is a kind of like a dwarf fire elemental. More correctly, it's a native outsider that has descended from Azers, dwarves and Azers.
You turned him into the spawn of an Azer.
He's an Ifrit. He is Azer born.
This is a little different than what I'm used to.
Yeah, it's reincarnations like that.
Close enough. So Brenos will come give him a. Hopefully, he doesn't get burned. You're not hot, are you?
He's a bit warm to the touch, but
No idea, actually.
a bunch of volcanic ash somehow is like he was covered in it when he arrived. And Thogrim, you're taken a little bit back when you look down at the burnt out body of yourself in your previous incarnation.
Were you all attacked?
Yes, we were actually.
Glad you are fine.
Isn't it funny that it took you dying and being brought back as a fucking Azir to get a proper dwarvish beard on your ass? That's what it took. If I knew it was this easy, we would have done this years ago.
Just wash your beard around your gunpowder. That might make an accident.
Yes, I think it's...
Oh, yeah. We would like to report to you the disobedience and treachery of your... He kicks your simulacrum in the face. I slave.
What?
Oh, yeah.
What happened?
Oh, he tried to destroy your body thinking it would allow him to remain free. And free of your control.
That's actually a good question. Are you in control now?
Thogrim, and when you concentrate, you feel the connection with talk had immediately come back. It was like it was dangling and it was just waiting for you to pick it back up again. And yeah, you have now utter control over your simulacrum, Thogrim 6-1, who has bowed his head in shame.
I'll have to deal with that later.
You are in control of it now, though.
Yes.
Oh, I even take it wrong.
Okay, Eamon, instead of sticking his trident into Thogrim, puts his trident away, takes out a dagger, and cuts the rope.
You might not want to die around him. Just saying.
Yeah, he's got no love for you.
Thogrim 6-1 has just got his head bowed in.
Yeah, a
He
lot of
adjusts his
slaves
glasses.
don't have a lot of love for their masters. Funny that.
Yeah, except he's not a person.
That's what they say about all the slaves.
Yeah, no, he's not a person. He has no soul.
Talk orbits around your head. It says in familiar speak. It has transcribed what has happened while you were dead.
That's good talk. Tell me everything.
Okay, it lands over your eye and kind of connects in and begins to show you pages of script and like images of what was going on.
I see.
Are you hurt by fire now? Says Agony. He goes over to you, poke.
Fire doesn't seem to bother me as much, but I think a bit, more intense wood.
Okay, I'm gonna say Agony can once in a while snort like minor breath weapons.
Little foof.
Yeah, he gives you a little foof of 3 damage from a from a half burp of a breath weapon. It doesn't harm him in any way.
Okay. While he's over there foofing, I'll restore his con damage.
Oh, thank you.
Now you can foof properly.
Am I at a negative level?
You've got 2 negative levels. Over the next 3 rounds, Sonny takes away one of your negative levels, and another one you get to keep for a week. At which point you need to get another spell to get rid of.
Good to have you back. I think I have to agree with Brennos. Your beard's much better.
You're feeling better, though, Evan?
Yeah.
It's good to be back.
Sonny's magic is strong.
Mind if I keep that gem?
Sonny like puffs himself up and starts twisting, and he steps on some of the remnants of the friggin' the doom node and almost falls on his ass.
Everyone's up and capable.
Do you remember your spells? There's a 50-50 chance that the spells you had prepared when you died are still there.
Okay.
You're gonna need to rest.
Okay, we'll do 100. Higher is good.
Well,
Nope.
Are you going directly back into battle with 50% of Thogrim's post-battle spells, or are you going to wait 8 hours for him
Wait
to...
8 hours.
Okay. So they give
2. He's got the ring, right?
2 hours.
2 hours.
Yeah.
Okay,
No. I put the ring on. It takes 24 hours to bond with it.
Oh, it's a new body.
Fucking
New
son.
body.
Well, let me go. Come on.
Yeah, Thorgrim's getting dressed.
Oh, same with all of your abilities. Your int ability score item takes 24 hours to attune as well.
Well, you get the bonuses, you just don't get the the skills, right?
The skills,
okay, yes. Yeah.
So he's getting dressed. He's putting his rings on.
I'll check, but I'm pretty sure that's how it is.
Okay.
If you don't have your spells,
My spells are not there yet. I'm gonna need time. Bit of time.
It's the same accent, I think. I'm trying to, but it's
I like it.
It's like
a
a
bit deeper, a little bit more
heavier, like a heavy smoking shotgun.
All right, guys. Tell you what, I will show you my home. I've got to check on things there. It's been a while anyway. The room you can rest there, prepare your spells, whatnot. Kitchen, I can prepare a meal.
Do you want to see our home? It's kind of destroyed.
Your home is a shit pile. No one needs to see it. It's a pile.
Wait. Why are we going to visit homes? There'll be time
Because Thorgrim is not ready for battle.
for lollygagging and fancy pantsing around later.
Yeah, Slake, it's good to see you.
Slake, I have a question.
Holy shit, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
No, it ain't.
Upgrade.
That's Thogrim the fucking Aesir. Baby.
I don't know what that fucking means, but it's magic, right?
Well, not anymore.
No.
I mean, it wasn't complete. No, magic was used to knit him a new body, but now the body is just a body. Although I think this type of body normally has spells inherently, so by your definition, I think it is actually magic all the time. This whole race is magic.
I don't feel like I have any magic.
Just let me know when you want to die again.
Here we go again. So,
So quick question. I'm down 2 levels. Does that mean
You're down
can't-
1 level.
I'm sorry, I'm down 1 level. Does that mean I can't cast?
No. Your caster level is down by 1.
Caster level is down by 1,
You
but
still get all your spells. It's
You -1 to attacks and save. And skill checks.
minus 1 to everything.
5 hit points off the top.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. We're gonna rest. We're gonna rest here.
Why here? You're a dwarf. You like the underground. I don't. What I like is a kitchen where I can make.
We're probably fucking wanted in Foundry.
Why would we be wanted? Well, you would be wanted. I am not wanted in Foundry.
I've never been to a fucking foundry.
Agony looks at Cog, looks at Amadeus, looks at Slake. You're probably right.
Would you like to see my tower?
I could use a meal. Slake, we should have a discussion about how we get you back to the fight.
Yeah, I already talked to Cog about this. It's gonna take me many weeks to get the filth of magic off of me. One more spell, although it breaks my iron heart to say it, to get back into the fight, to get some of that Dayferal, to put it on my fists.
Oh,
That works.
just keep using magic because you was doing really good with it. I thought.
Eamon's gotta go home sometime.
No, he doesn't.
You get vacations, right, Eamon?
Eamon snarls at that. He doesn't like that joke. Because the answer is no.
He doesn't even get a day off.
How is your Atomi core doing?
Fine.
He flickers in. There's a green glow from his eyes. You're pretty sure you just got a micro dose of radiation.
I'm immune to radiation. I'm the druid of Volcanica.
Agony doesn't like the radiation. He's the only one that failed his save. He takes a giant step back from Slake.
Interesting. Feeling good? Feeling spry? No heartburn? Or
Just the filth of magic that I feel rolling around inside me. Greasy spellbeggars. Got your ick where it shouldn't be. Don't worry. You guys have opened up a whole new world out there. Glowing green rocks and technology. That ain't fucking magic. Yeah!
It is quite exhilarating.
You
Indeed.
know, I think I will go on a quest. Destroy all glow green rocks.
Yeah, that's why I'm on the quest to snuff out this weave magic thing that you guys keep talking about. That.
Magic.
Roll up in a ball, give it a good tear,
Yeah, that's how it works.
toss it into the...
Oh shit, Sonny, he's got our number.
who told you about the weave?
I've heard
Do
you
you
guys
know-
say that. I don't know, things are much clearer.
Sunny is... Obviously, Sunny doesn't want Slake to, roll up the weave and tear it in half. But this is... He's getting an appreciation for the intricacies of magic. Once he gets exposed to how wonderful it is, obviously he'll come around.
Barnabas is just thinking the next time he shuts down, he's going to modify his memory to screw up what he thinks the weave
The womb! He thinks it's actually like
is.
a
It's
quilt.
an actual blanket or something somewhere.
He'll get it.
He's gonna basically grab a ley line and yank it. All right, so breakfast.
Yeah, follow me.
Just his hat. Breakfast.
Who's coming? I mean, you want breakfast. Of course. I'm a pig.
The rope tricks are gone.
Sure.
Brennos, are you coming or not wanted?
Do you got? Is there a market up there?
Well, yeah, last there was. Lots of the shops are closed now, though. The Imperium drafted the owners.
If you take me to a shop that might have draconic curiosities or whatever, that would then
I think we can find you something, yeah.
Okay.
All right. So you guys go shopping, and then Barnabas makes you a meal just to move things along. Give me 2 diplomacy checks to search the city for.
I'm looking for draconic holy symbols.
Dragon holy symbols. Yep.
Yeah.
Normally a search like that takes 2d4 hours, which Thogrim needs 8 hours of rest and then an hour of prep.
I've got the glory domain today because Bahamut really wants me to find these holy symbols, so you can add 13 to the diplomacy check.
Nice.
Because Bahamut.
Thogrim wants you guys to look for scrolls. If you're doing that,
You can come with.
Thogrim needs to rest.
He
He needs 8 hours of rest to regain his spells.
He's resting. I think he's resting down here.
It's up to you.
He also doesn't have paperwork, so I don't think he's going anywhere until he gets
yeah,
paperwork.
I have Thogrim is a dwarf, not
Whatever
Hey,
the fuck this
hey,
is.
look, there's a new magical creature wandering around the streets. In martial law. So yeah, you can add my my cleric level to a charisma-based skill check, which will be diplomacy. So plus 13. I can do this 8 times per day.
Wow. So Barnabas,
Glory.
you hit the town. Yeah, it does look. What time of year is this?
It's got to be midsummer, end of summer.
Time tracker. You train to level, and when you finish doing that, it is summer, and then you started. Yeah, it is late summer, the last month of summer. So yeah, it is warm. You do notice that the martial law that was declared is kind of really lax at this point in time. You do see soldiers about, but business is somewhat returned, at least in different forms than before. People have to eat. Some of the shops are closed, new ones have opened, and the Fey Market, the idea that some of you, actually no one in this party knows DD, the Fey Market is now a thing. And you guys search the lower districts of Foundry for holy symbols of the draconic deities.
Mm-hmm.
Give me your, what was your diplomacy check to search?
You get a plus 13 from Brenos.
Can I spend the DM point?
Sure.
Barnabas takes 10 on a knowledge check and knows where to get a holy symbol.
Sure.
That's probably the most common one in the city, if I'm perfectly honest.
You end up talking to some kobolds.
Nope. He gets it from a priest of Kozu.
Ah.
That's the deal.
Okay. Like the temple that Agony came from?
Agony.
Why would they have one of those?
Those dirty sons of bitches. Are they really Kozuthans?
All right. What's it made out of?
It is made out of, you know what? Let's see if we'll stay with that. It's made out of coal iron.
Okay. That would probably cost, I don't know, 100 gold pieces.
Okay. Brenos will buy it. He's kind of on a quest to get it. He's currently Ash Ketchum right now.
Brenos, are you in? It was actually rather quick. Barnabas beeline towards the temple and bought this thing off of a priest, and then are you still looking for others?
Yeah, I'm trying to. He's supposed to at least. He needs to at least say hi to all these guys.
Okay, so this time I need a diplomacy check with Brenos' bonus.
Cold iron, holy symbol of
Took you about an hour to walk to the temple and then kind of get back to other merchant areas. It takes you another 4 hours in the market. What'd you guys get as a roll?
Could we get maybe a bonus just because we're going to the Fey market and Barnabas is, I think he's still on good terms with Nighthorn?
Sure. Yeah, I'm going to give you a +5 bonus because you have connections at the Fey market. So what's the total? That's a +18 from with the bonus, and I need a diplomacy check.
That's Brennos.
No, Brennos is aiding you with a
Oh, he's aiding.
+13. And
I mean, I could do it myself, but I'd rather give it to you because you got like a +30 and Brennos has a +3.
Yeah, no, he actually doesn't for gathering information.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, but hang on.
Is it bigger than a +3?
It is bigger than a +3.
Then we're good. Then we're doing this correctly.
But not by much.
Eamon also aids because he's another mouth that can talk to people.
Alright, Eamon can aid. Eamon aids.
And Polly, I guess Polly talks, so...
Okay. Yeah.
And she's got
Fuck you,
knowledge.
give me the thing!
No, she's got knowledge of religion. You just go looking around for it.
Nope.
Polly. Diplomacy.
Polly on time,
Polly does not aid, but.
Okay.
Alright, so.
Dragon holy symbols might not be too popular right now.
Yeah.
Well,
Probably
it's like
not.
you'd be looking at like souvenir shops and things, like,
Yeah.
you know.
Give me the dragon! Give me the dragon!
So, aid from.
The whole thing of like, especially since a lot of the dragon gods are like weird.
I got aid from Brennos? Oh, no.
Yep. Well, you got a +13 from Brennos.
Oh, +13 from Brennos?
Yeah.
That's significant.
And a +5 from the connections.
Bahamut gave
Oh,
you
yes, and
+13.
+5 from. Alright, this is looking pretty good. 41.
Your base is +4.
Yeah.
Yours like
I make
Brennos.
a good first impression. Not so good at the follow-up.
Okay, so the DC I had in mind was 20, and then you beat it by
21.
4 multiples of 5. So you find 5 different holy symbols.
Okay. Do you want to just roll a D? Anything?
No, the first one that you find is of Bahamut.
Oh, cool.
It is a platinum holy symbol worth 250 gold pieces.
Okay, I will buy it. $250. Expensive. Thogrim owes me money. All right, never mind. It's fine.
600. Shut up.
Interest, mother. Death tax. You think that you died just to get out and pay me a loan?
That was the old Thorgrim. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. You find a ceremonial scimitar, gold-plated, that acts as a holy symbol to Astalabor, the dragon goddess of status, wealth, and acquisition.
There's a goddess most of the party can get behind.
A ceremonial golden scimitar is probably 300 for. We're gonna say it's a 500 gold piece item.
Right. I'm doing this for you, Moradin.
Souvenir shops, right? Souvenir shops.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna break the first time I use it.
Son of a bitch.
You end up finding one of the kobold eggs, but this egg hasn't been melted yet. But you're pretty sure that if you buy this lead egg for like 3 gold pieces, there's something hidden inside. Are you lying to the merchant when, like, the merchant actually doesn't know there might be a valuable holy symbol inside the egg?
Yeah, Barnabas will.
Okay. The merchant tries to haggle you up to 5 gold pieces. You let him have it because you're pretty sure the holy symbol that is probably hidden inside this egg is worth much more.
Okay, I put lead egg.
Okay.
There's usually a Tiamat inside.
Yeah. Are you melting the lead, or?
Yeah, we'll melt the lead. At this point, it's like I'm literally a Pokemon collector. Is in the modern kind where you buy a deck of cards. I'm like melting the thing. Which one did I get? Which one?
You're a little bit disappointed with the quality of the symbol of Tiamat inside. There's a little brass symbol of Tiamat. It is worth 50 gold pieces.
Just made 45. You're a winner.
Okay. I think this means that he'll end up giving the cool one to
Agony.
Agony.
There's one more.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So you found. No, there's.
That's 3. There should be 2 more.
2 more.
That's 3, yeah. Egg, sword, and
5, 6, 7, and.
holy symbol. Platinum.
You find a holy symbol of the dragon goddess Halal.
Okay. Halal's fun. If not the name I would have given to God for the modern era.
You're right.
Is the god of chicken.
Is the chaotic good dragon of humor, inventiveness, and pleasure. She's the most friendly of all the dragon gods to non-dragons. Her symbol is a single white flame representing the light of wit.
Guys are good times.
The holy symbol's worth 50 gold and was in a curio shop.
Okay, I take it. I purchase it with coin.
Okay, the last one is strangely enough, a bone scroll tube.
Cool.
That is that you could wear on your belt, and if you have a free hand, you could touch it. It is of the chaotic neutral god that is the messenger of Io. He's a messenger god, a god of learning, invention, and pleasure.
He's awesome. It's like that's the A one.
Astarinian and Halal are arguably two gods that are kind of dual, as in sometimes they either live in the same house or their clergies are very close together.
All right. This one sounded like it's probably more than 50 gold pieces.
Yeah, a bone skull tube that is battle ready is probably a masterwork item, so it's 100 gold pieces item.
Cool. I buy them all, and I will wear the one of Bahamut. I'll put it on my neck today, like it's in a place of the thing I'm doing today.
All right, Barnabas then cooks some of you a meal at this very cramped tower full of people that seem to really love Barnabas. Bunch of scholars and bards. A couple of annoying swordsmen.
I got a question.
There's so many people here.
If you can cook like this, what the fuck are you doing out there? You got people doing this, you got this tower, you can cook like this. What the fuck are you doing out there?
Looking for ingredients. Besides, out there is much more profitable than what's in here.
I wouldn't choose to be out there if it was like.
Would you like some pie?
I would love some pie.
The fellows of Professor Darby haven't been updated in a few levels.
No, not for a while.
But there's at least 40 of them. Scholarly students, charismatic students, lab assistants, charismatic students, senior students, a senior lab assistant, a senior adept, a graduate, a scholar. Scholar Glenn seems to be the guy who runs the place when he's not there, and Barnabas's cousin, Pietro, is a sorcerer.
You know, it wouldn't kill your fellows here to like do a push-up once in a while. You know.
Actually,
Yeah, you seen the old guy around the corner? Holy shit!
yeah, that's what I mean.
You catch up with your followers. Things have been relatively quiet in Foundry. You catch a few rumors, I guess, that the war to the south isn't going very well. I'm assuming that's the general rumor of the south. War from the south ain't going too well. Death to the goblins.
That's about right.
Yeah. During your trek around the city, you did see a considerable lack of goblin kind. You might have to go underground, or they might be hiding in the buildings. Those that have not been.
As I recall, the whole neighborhood is like across the street.
Marty, what is the current timing between the two campaigns? We're like 2 months ahead on this group, right?
So, time tracker is in the initiative worksheet. And it's deciding it's going to load. All right, so the timing, we left off doing face punch leveling in the last month of spring, and we're now in the last month of summer. So it's about 4 months.
The DM point.
Yep.
There's a rumor about some sort of catastrophe to do with the train. Supply line problem is the current rumor.
People aren't too concerned about it because it's a war that they're not fighting in,
and
the Imperium has lots of ships on Volcanica, so they'll just have to use ships. And if ships fail, they're just going to have to use magic. And there seems to be this confidence that lowly goblins will not beat the Imperium. That's impossible.
Widget and Brenna is probably here. It still stands. The fat man should appear at the door. You should provide him a safe hat.
Oh, you mean your boon companion Chaga Doon?
That's correct.
The food's not bad. It's
You fucking liar! It's delicious and you know it.
Okay. You can sense that the followers are whispering about Eamon Woe, and they know that Eamon came from the pits below the tower. Widget and Brenna's kind of gather from the whispers of many of Barnabas's followers that Eamon came from something in the basement.
So, Eamon, what do you think about this tower?
It's a fine structure.
You never told me about your childhood. I never told you about mine. If you ever want to trade, well, about that point, I suppose.
He his eyes flick in annoyance, but he takes a long sigh. Eamon. Where's Eamon?
Avernodons don't have much of a childhood. Those that are born weak are cast out or given to other devils. You must be strong, learn how to survive, learn how to kill at a young age. When you reach a certain age, you're tested by warriors that came before you, and if you do pass these tests, you are allowed to join the ranks of their warrior guild. I spent most of my time either trying to survive or to kill in combat. And then the other third of my life battling alongside in phalanxes in hell. Last few years were... He looks to Barnabas. Frightening in different ways. Guarding halls that make this place look like a hut.
And still, he complains about it.
Watching great beings come and go. Keeping an eye out. Trying to defend against attacks that you do not fully comprehend. Against beings that are greater than you.
Still, though, must be better than the paperwork.
I did not come here by choice.
I am well aware of what you're.
Grew up on the streets, in a temple, orphaned. A people displaced from their home. Not as harrowing as what happened in hell, but not overly dissimilar. What killed for failure? That would be a different thing, though.
At least you found your purpose and became a warrior. Self-sufficient. Even though your gods are false and will all die in the end.
Barnabas has this look on his face like, is it
No,
beautiful?
And your devil friends may very well die before them if any of the crusades go well.
That's a lie. I never destroy hell.
I will be going after Tyr. I know he went to the Abyss. It's a different
This
place.
is different from hell. You got to understand. Hell is too important in the blood war. It never.
Silver, cold iron.
You talk of things that you don't understand.
Not understanding is quite literally half of my job.
Many of Ernadon's die, and continue to do so in the Blood War. It is messy. It is a war whose battlefields are larger than 10 of this world put together.
Well, given the option, I would recommend growing up fat and healthy. So.
Are you familiar with the Juga?
No. Should I?
I think they're fighting a similar war.
Fighting is one of the constants of the multiverse that makes sense.
If you defeat your external enemy, you'll find one inside. Defeat all the enemies at the gate, you'll find one inside.
Wonderfully philosophical.
I'm sure Asmodeus has his plans. He looks directly at Barnabas.
I'm sure he does. That being said, plans change.
Hey Barnabas, I don't give two shits about how you grew up or your childhood. Have me another piece of the pie.
Oh, there you go. That's what I like. Big piece from my little friend. There we go.
All right, Thogrim, as you're preparing your spells and getting a rest, you can't help but every once in a while get a flash of the world is made out of a molten core of metal. Like this it's all fire.
That's news to me.
And you were born of fire, or reborn of fire. You start to realize that fire spells are going to roll off the tip of your tongue quite well, and that you seem to like the taste of gunpowder. Like, you still might want to not eat it raw, but putting a little gunpowder in your food, like, there seems to be a good taste about it.
He's gonna make gunpowder candy.
Pop rocks that really pop.
Pixie sticks of gunpowder.
While that amethyst thing gave you an interesting offer, you had a true religious experience when you visited the molten, highly pressured, fiery core of Volcanica itself.
It was a very interesting Thorgrim thing. It was a very interesting offer / conversation he had with a thing in the gem. But after experiencing this, like, no, there's more. Well, that's only two, and they're both very interesting. Perhaps Thorgrim spent too much time in his books and not worrying about his soul enough.
These are interesting thoughts.
Look at him.
Thorgrim
to rest all over again.
Thorgrim 6-1 asks you what you want to do with your remains.
Shall I put them in a bag for you, or should we condemn them to fire?
They'll be disintegrated.
They shall be disintegrated.
Yes, of course, Master.
Is that really that bad to you?
No, Master. I felt freedom. I am you. You are stronger, though.
And he bows his head.
How is this? You are free to do whatever you want or whatever you will for the day.
He
Without obviously hurting me again. Gunpowder won't work this time.
He sheepishly nods. You still feel the domination connection of the spell over your simulacra. If you dismiss the power over the simulacra, you're trying to dismiss the spell.
But I'm not actually dismissing.
I know. And now I'm looking up whether simulacrum has a.
You could dismiss.
I think it would like melt or some shit.
It does not have a
No,
D.
its duration is instantaneous.
Yep.
He would need to sit in an anti-magic field to give him autonomy. That's like maybe on a different plane or some other method of blocking the telepathic link. But
Well, look here. You understand your simulacrum? Yes?
You nod.
Simulacrum, by definition, are not able to improve. You might not be able to learn new spells, but you might be able to learn through experience. And that's what I'm doing with you.
he's missing a soul. Somebody needs to tell him he's missing a soul. He needs a soul. I'm not intruding. Just don't mind us.
So he like a good student is nodding to everything that you say.
Yeah, I know.
I recognize that you can't help but agree with everything I'm saying. But I'm hoping at some level you'll understand that with the experience you're gaining accompanying me through these adventures and these battles, you are bettering yourself in one way or another. It is the best that I could do for you.
Yes, I am honored by the magic items you have let me carry.
Righto.
And as you get more powerful magic items, I will get the hand-me-downs.
Think of it this.
Thorgrim,
Yes.
he doesn't have a soul. You need to give him a soul if you want him to learn.
You
Right,
guys
we'll do
dimension door to the surface? Is that what you did?
Yeah.
Okay, so take off a dimension door.
Okay.
So
Didn't think we were getting into combat today.
you might be able to wish or miracle a soul into him, and both Widget and Barnabas said they knew where they could get a soul. I know we can also just imbue him with sort of the spirit of Volcanica or something of that nature, but it's a little bit odd, but we are talking in front of a spell effect, so it's not really. We're talking about you, but it's not rude. Don't worry.
This is not on my top to-do list.
It's not rude, don't worry. Thorgrim just
There's a lot of shit on my mind right now.
sighs and his head goes down.
If you could wish, or potentially even limited wish, and coupled with a
He perks up a little bit at
Soul.
this, but does not ask for such things.
you could, give him the ability to grow as an individual. Potentially even take your place in sort of you're not you anymore.
No, that's the other thing. 6-1, you are the original version of me. If you recognize, I have changed.
Yes, if
You
you
are
say
now-
so, Master. Yes.
You are the original one. Look at you. I could not make another one.
Until you give him freedom, his conversations are going to be they'll be very one-sided. They'll be very self-affirming conversations. He will agree with you all the time. You can't not, unless you specifically tell him not to agree with you, then he'll agree with you.
Hey, Sonny, look, there's a very strange looking bat over there. Go talk to it.
I don't think there is a strange looking bat over there. And I
bag, fuck, I'm dead.
and I don't think it's Dugan or Dee Dee, because I don't think they're here right now.
Right.
And he goes, finally.
Only been 5 levels.
Took a minute.
They'd be in the Fey markets.
We'll have to look at this discussion about giving you a soul. It's very interesting. And with you being able to grow would be even something that you would love. Something that I would love, hence you would love.
And if we're going to find him a soul, we either need a blank soul or a soul that you trust. Being that you're making you wouldn't want some horrible evil soul just sort of plunked in there and have it do horrible evil things. Or a goody two-shoes soul that will donate all of your goods to charity. Empty your bank accounts and feed the
Yes,
poor.
thank you. Thank you very much, Sonny. I'll keep your discussion and all your ideas under advisement.
So he's just standing too close and watching.
But yes, 6-1, I understand. Your freedom would have driven me mad as well. Worry not. We'll figure something out. We always figured out our problems, haven't we?
All right, so you end up burning the body? Is that what you're doing? Disintegrating it?
I'm going to disintegrate.
Okay.
All right. I need to rest.
Yeah, you rest, prepare your spells, and then you disintegrate it. Okay, Barnabas, you return back after your meals and shopping.
Yeah, because we want our rest here. Cause we don't.
Yep.
All right. We're just doing a quick head count. Everybody's here. Brandos is going to hand Agony a cold iron holy symbol of Tiamat.
What's this?
Found something in the shops. Actually, a priest sold it to me. And then he'll quickly dangle the brass one to show he's got another one, and we'll pocket the brass one and I know some Kazuthan. Bottle of Kazuthan.
He gives you a nod. He sticks it into a pouch. He's wearing his symbol of Tiamat with the small gems in gold.
Yeah, I there's got to be a level of like, whose holy symbol is the most expensive? I don't want the Tiamat holy symbol to be one of the more expensive ones on my, like, no, you get like a nice basic, just a basics.
1,000 gold piece Tiamat symbol in my wooden symbol of Bahamut.
Right. It's some priest types take offense when they first understand the idea of pantheon worship. It's not meant that way.
I'm not a priest. Worship who you want.
Yeah, even if you want to worship baby nuts or whatever.
Agony's lips pull back into a smile. A very toothy smile.
Baby nuts.
Amadeus is pleased. He was able to make people laugh.
It's like the 8 charisma talking to the 8 charisma.
But basically.
It's like Beavis talking to Butthead.
Yeah, exactly.
Baby nuts.
Okay. Alright, so we going now? Like, are we leaving at
Well,
like
we're
6
gonna
o'clock?
leave when his items are fully bonded.
Yeah, that'll
Oh,
be
we're waiting till tomorrow?
I've already prepared my spells. The rest of the items that I need for battle.
Okay, so Barnabas has
Oh,
used
there.
2 dimension doors. You've used 1 disintegrate, and I think Brenos used one of his domain powers to
So Brennis used 2 domain powers.
2 domain powers to search for.
And Sunny cast 4 fourth circle spells.
Oh, right, all the healing. Yep.
Which, being said, it aren't like... Sunny's ready to fight. Widget's ready to fight. Brennis is ready to
I'm willing
fight.
to go with the spells I've already spent. Who else?
It's like
I'm ready to go.
Alright, Amadeus puts up his hand.
Yeah, Agony's fine to go. He hasn't cast anything today.
Sonny, you comfortable?
Yes.
Widget? You're... Well, you,
I am. He's rubbing his belly. I can die happy knowing.
Alright. Sounds like we're ready to go.
Where are we teleporting to?
Well, I suggest we finish routing the castle. That way nothing comes at us from behind.
Yeah, that's where we left all the fucking treasure.
Okay, yeah, I was going to use the tactical argument, but that's also...
How about we teleport from where the machine was? There's nothing there underneath it.
Alright, so I'll meet you guys there.
In what? 3 months?
Fuck, I spelled bakery.
Snakes joking, of course.
Yeah,
Do you want-
it pains me to joke like that, though.
Do you want to spy on them?
On whom?
Well, we
Not
can
if it's
see
magic
what-
spying. Nope.
So there's a pillar in the way. Boss.
Hey,
Yeah, we could use the thingy to look at the spot.
yeah, let's do that. Do you want to
All
tell me
right.
how to do this, or
Thorgrim takes out the machine, the telescope, basically, the relic,
The fascia of rest.
starts connecting it. Be my guest.
enjoy, Sonny?
They're all hot potatoing the responsibility of casting the scry spell upon the minor artifact for fear of
This artifact is
possession.
called heroin.
It's not heroin, it's heroin. Alright, so Sonny will. Does it have to be a scry or greater scry, or do other scrying school spells work through it?
You have not experimented.
Okay, we'll just cast a scry. And we'll like original, like a classic one, so a 1 hour.
Cog's preparing a whole bunch of death wards.
So it's like 6:30 at night at this point in time.
Yep. We're gonna show up and fight the Ghost Lord at like sunset.
And then you spend an hour casting scry.
Yeah.
Cog used up one of his fifth little formula for the cape.
And we're scrying on the spot of the ground where the machine god Mad was.
Okay.
And I believe like we're fixed to the spot. We can't move the spot.
Correct.
And I'll put another tick on that list of times using the thingy.
Yeah, I thank you. I was going to ask you to do that, but
I have 2 use of the thingy.
okay.
You cowards.
Okay, so
Thorgrim's thinking. Thorgrim's
you're
thinking.
Scrying upon this spot.
Yeah.
You, Sonny, give me a perception check because you're the one looking through right now.
All right.
Adjusting some of the lenses to get the focus right.
44.
Oh yeah, the spot gets a saving throw.
It's an interesting idea.
What's the
came to mind.
DC of your spell?
My spells DC is 23 plus modifiers. Like it's a scry spell.
Okay,
I've been
so
to the spot
you've been to
before.
the spot, so 0. Do you have anything from that spot?
Was there any dust on the friggin'
we
thing
have
gone mad?
we have
got-
bits and pieces from the machine that was there. for
Okay,
God knows how long.
Sonny realizes that the dust from the place works better than the machine.
Yep, because I'm scrying on the spot, so I got dust from the spot.
All right, and you are seeing the spot. And what was your perception check?
44.
There are tracks that have gone through that spot that were not there before.
I think it's a survival to identify tracks.
Yep.
There are tracks.
He says tank treads on the word.
21.
21 for the tracks.
There are dusty tracks.
Oh, they're not just dusty. There's a lot of filth and ick in this room, so they kind of walked through this
nice.
area.
Were they the cloven hooves?
This would be hard ground, but with all the stuff.
Barnabas, the next time we advance ourselves, I could make a simulacrum that can cast fourth circle spells.
Yes, you could.
Okay.
You can get rid of treachery 1.0 here.
There
Strong
were-
fourth circle spell.
More.
Barnabas starts to
There were
laugh.
about at least 3 sets of tracks that are cloven hooved.
Okay.
They walked on 2 feet.
Okay.
and then a couple of other tracks that were distinct. One looks like they were feet that were wrapped,
Okay.
and then one looks like they were boots.
3 possibly satyrs, someone wearing boots, and
Like
someone
like big boots.
like large.
No, we're talking like Brennos or
Big boy.
A big warrior of some
Yeah.
sort, and then a caster or a monk or something.
some size like 13s or something like that.
Some, bigger boy. Someone with large boots and someone with wrapped feet. Druid, monk, sorcerer, maybe
Mummy.
a mummy. Mummies have wrapped feet usually.
Oh, they weren't dragging their feet. They were walking through the ick.
If they were a mummy, they had very good posture and a nice gait.
They like crisscrossed that room several times.
I don't hear anything, I'm assuming.
Nope.
Well,
actually, you do. You hear the sandstorm.
Oh, the storm is still there, by the way. It must be very bad. I will
Can we protect our minds?
attempt to detect magic through the thingy.
Okay.
It's 5% per cast level, so... Woohoo! Yes, it works. Is there magic through the thing?
There is some lingering magic from some of the fluids that leaked out of the processes that this thing was doing.
Oh, yeah.
And then there is some magic around the stonework, like it may have been protected over a long period of time previously. Not unheard of for important locations. But in that general area of the number 9 on the map that you're looking at, you don't see anything magical.
Is Sledgewald Anvilbrow still there?
Yeah, you can catch just a glimpse of his body off to the side of where you're scrying.
Did we find his tool from the dwarvish homeworld in the wreckage?
Shit. So,
do we get our planar rod to orcdom? Does Brenos have his weapon to go wage war on the orcs once he's done whatever the dragon nonsense is?
All right, you're like, you scry and you're like, maybe you haven't decompressed that part where if this thing traveled between the planes, it might have planar rods or keys or something. Maybe you just didn't get to that part of the fabulous machine.
I'll have to ask Thogrim.
Yep.
I mean, Thogrim died, so maybe he forgot about it.
Yeah, you haven't fully deconstructed the machine. It still may have secrets, and this is a really good question. So he does not have the key on him. After a quick conversation with your fellows, you remember somebody had seen him put the key inside the slot.
Oh, I was busy hiding behind the wall of iron.
The wall of iron is just a conjuration spell, right? Like it summons a wall of iron that then stays.
Yes.
Yeah, it's permanent.
Okay, so you may see like the faintest aura coming off of the perfect wall of iron conjuration.
The perfect wall of shitty iron.
Yeah. Perfect wall of pig iron.
Yeah, it's as per the spell, it's useless for anything you want to do iron stuff with. Does anybody else want to take a look?
Sledgewald may have some magic gear on him. I'm going to say that his firearm is magical.
Did they take it?
No.
It doesn't look like they looted.
Well, if they are ghosts, well, some of them are ghosts.
One man has very heavy footsteps for a ghost.
God, it looks like he's got shots in his hands, like ready to go. Like, yeah. Sports for all.
One of the cloven hoof tracks did go right up to it. It might even kicked it over, but then left it where it lay. Like it wasn't interested in the gun.
All right. Does anybody else want to take a look?
No, trust what you have to say.
Barnabas.
Right.
Thorgrim might be interested in that gun. Give me a second.
There's a magical gun there.
Well, then it's definitely going to get picked up now, won't it?
Do you want to look at it?
When I get there, for sure.
You can look at it right now if you want.
Barnabas.
Simulacra that casts
What
fire.
is Thorgrim's gun?
Thorgrim's gun is a +1 reliable. It's called +1 reliable. It's got something else on it.
What type of gun, I think?
I'm just seeing weapons, rifle slot empty.
Oh crap! I moved it to 6-1. That's why.
Okay.
Oh yeah, no. This is one thing. He didn't use his rifle because the original Thorgrim had the use exotic firearms or the feat for using exotic weapons for firearms as a first slot, but then he retrained the feat and it became one of the 13th level or 12th level slots. So I don't think the new Thorgrim can do it unless I retrain 2 feats and flip it back to the first. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and the thing that is on Thorgrim is a +1 reliable musket. A musket is not an alchemical rifle. So is that correct, or it doesn't have alchemical cartridges?
A musket.
It's ball and powder.
I have to read about that specifically. So I don't. These alchemical cartridges. He has firearms ammunition. The alchemical cartridges are things he can build. I just put it in there as options. So there's
So
no.
why are you saying it doesn't fire that?
Right. Maybe I didn't pay attention to that. I will take a look into it.
Okay, I think alchemical cartridges are for advanced firearms,
The next generation.
of which this is one. He doesn't have a he doesn't have a musket. He has a rifle. And
Very interesting.
by the look of it, it looks like it's some sort of sight on the rifle.
Similar to the one. Oh, I'm not looking through it. I'll figure out when we get there.
Yep. By the runes on it, it does have other, like it's magical and it's more than a +1.
Apparently they put a spyglass on the rifle.
Something
Quite
like
magical.
this.
He's already got one called a far-reaching sight. It's basically a big-
I don't
big
fucking
scope.
condone it. I kind of remember that Sledgewald could fire his gun and hit something like half a mile away.
Yes.
Half a mile.
It just waves off. Like,
I don't want to be shot from half a mile away.
That's what the scope can do as well.
Half a mile?
Around. It really.
Maybe
I
not
can
half a
read-
mile, but like a fisherman's tail half a mile.
If it's similar to what I have, this allows you to hit anything with up to the range of your rifle or musket, as easy as if it was in front of you.
Okay.
400 feet or so, very easily.
400 feet. Not too scary. You do the same thing with the spell on a bow at 1,000 feet.
Right, but anyone can carry a rifle. If I have 10 simulacrum,
He smiles.
Thorgrim 6-1. Head goes down.
but none of them are as original as he is.
They will all be far better than him,
Just,
as he will be the shit one.
If you had 10 simulacrum, and it's your rifle, look at great. 5. If you had 10 simulacrum and 10 pieces of bat shit, and then you all sick simulacrum. What a fire.
that's the way to do it.
fuck the rifles. You get 10 dwarves and 10 cannons. There you
Oh,
go.
here's something mechanical for you. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sharing
Sensing
new
an
ideas
imminent
that I have.
malfunction.
Leave the cannoneering and firearms to me. You guys deal with everything else.
I mean,
Is that how you
Mike's-
lost your other one?
No, I lost that one saving the world. I've already told you that.
Yeah.
if I'm being perfectly honest, 10 of you and some magic missile wands. It's pretty effective. Get them to turn themselves invisible such that they don't get absolutely murked by their opponents.
Okay, how long are you watching this area?
It's 1 minute per level, so 10 minutes.
Are you guys using the Farseer to teleport, or
Well, we could if any of
We
these
can grade
wusses
it.
would look through the Farseer.
We can
It's
greater
okay, I got a
teleport. We were.
compass, I got a
Thorgrim can
compass.
greater teleport. He's already been there.
Thorgrim can grade
Enough.
teleport.
Enough screwing this up. These are the big boy spells now.
Let's get our teleport groups together. Sunny will teleport. I guess if he teleports using the thing, he's teleporting with the thing.
Yeah, I would imagine.
I need to take it
Yep.
apart.
Well, it's going to show up in the middle of what potentially could be a battlefield.
Why don't you take it with you, but turn into something so that it stays with you?
Are we strike forcing that spot or no?
yes? I'm putting up spells before we go.
Why don't we send in a recon group? Because if we all use our spells, I mean, I would be one of the forward-going group because I
If
don't.
I'm
use
going
any
there,
spells.
I'm not going back out until that place is fucking clear.
Understood.
And then you guys can hide in your little magic hidey holes while I fucking guard your asses in there.
You know, if you hid with us, you wouldn't have to guard it, right?
I can't even explain how wrong sleeping in a place like that is.
Of course you can't, because there's nothing wrong with it.
What I'm suggesting is instead of all of us putting our spells up and then running there and losing time because there's no enemies,
Yeah,
why don't we
I
stay?
want to go first.
All right, fine.
I volunteer to go first as well.
All right, and this is an honest question. It's like not meant to antagonize you, but your powers have not returned. Am I understand?
I've got new powers.
All right, but you will be teleporting, which will.
Yeah, my
Okay, so my question is, do you want any other spells?
fuck no.
Really, even after the other day, you
The more spells you cast on me, the more time it's going to take for me to feel not dirty.
It's not like we're going to be busy after the mines. We've got nothing lined up.
Do you want me to link my soul to yours?
No.
All right then. He'll link that last soul link. Will go to Thorgrim 61.
Okay.
All right, it's your choice.
All right. So it looks like there's Slake and Cog going in with the first strike force.
We're willing to go in.
You know what? He's not going to link Thorgrim 61 because he's going to link Mistra when Mistra comes out of the thing.
Okay. So you've got her statue, so you can do the link.
I'll link to the statue.
Yep.
I've got all the PCs
Barnabas,
plus Eamon Woe, who's basically a PC. Just in case anybody's wondering, he's more important than most of the PCs. plus Mistra.
Barnabas will do a good hope before everybody leaves.
Okay. Who's doing the teleporting of that group?
Well, they need to teleport her.
Sounds like Widget.
Thorgrim can take 4.
Thorgrim can take 4.
Widget can also take 4. Sunny can take
Small.
5.
Small cannons with 6-1.
Widget can take 4, so one more person can go with Widget.
Yep.
1, 2, 3.
See invisibility. Good hope.
Kronos?
Do you even need to look into the scope? If not, I'll pack it away.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sunny can take the rest with the teleport and the scope, and that will get everybody there. Otherwise, it's 2 more spells to get us there.
All right. So is one group staying behind, or
You raise extremely valid questions that people need to answer, and my Sonny thinks he should teleport using the thingy that is addictive as hell. So that's the.
Barnabas is never going to use that thing, so he doesn't care if it's smashed to bits.
I'm just interested in no one else having it.
It's
No,
kind
he
of
does
nice once you try
he
it.
does appreciate the idea of, let the simulacrum get addicted to it.
And then he comes around and whispers to you.
Your share memory spell would be very impressive when used in conjugation with that.
Brenos is going to cast a see invisibility. He's going to cast a magic circle against evil.
Slake slams his mutagen?
Oh yeah, mutagen.
I think we're going to cast a keen edge
Oh, we don't have.
on the platinum greatsword of kicking all the ass.
But we don't have access to that one. Okay.
I believe keen edge is 10 minutes per level.
Which one?
There's that map.
You can't see that map?
No, we're.
Yep.
Undertown, Halls of
Oh, there it is. Okay, sorry, I apologize.
And we're going to use a charge of the glory domain power to basically have a plus 13 on a charisma based check, which is going to be an intimidate, and I want someone to be real screwed.
Okay, for the teleport, Gordon will squeeze into somebody's.
Yep.
Hat or something.
I don't know who's got a bag of holding in this side.
Comic?
Okay.
Good hope we land place.
While you guys are casting your spells, I'm going to take a quick bathroom break. I'm going to stop the recording for a bit.
All right.